Hello and welcome to The Real Life Gamer, reviews you can trust. Today I'm taking an exclusive look at Samurai Warriors Chronicles for the Nintendo 3DS. It is the latest entry in the Warriors franchise and a Nintendo 3DS launch title, so there's no pressure. Alright, for starters, if you're not a fan of the Warrior games, like Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors, then this game will not change your mind. But if you're like me and are new to the franchise or a veteran of the series, this is definitely a game to have. Okay, so the Warriors games blend some mild RPG elements and real-time strategy elements. The RPG elements are light, and you won't be spending hours dispensing points to level your character. That's all done automatically. However, you will be leveling up, gaining new weapons and abilities. This is implemented well, and it's fun unlocking new weapons, leveling up, gaining new combos, and special attacks. One small note about the game's storyline is it's told entirely in Japanese. There are absolutely zero English voiceovers or any other language. However, there are plenty of subtitles, and as long as that doesn't bother you, it shouldn't be an issue. Note about these types of games, especially this one. Sometimes it may take a bit of grinding to defeat a harder level. What I mean by this is you may have to go back and play a level that you've previously beaten. Now, while this may seem repetitive, Samurai Warriors does an excellent job of not making this seem repetitive, though, because the first time you play through a level, you're given a preset class of warriors to play with besides your main character, which will either be a male warrior or a female warrior. Now, when you first play through the level, as I said, you're given a preset warrior to play with. After you've beaten the level, however, you can go back and play the level with any of the warriors you have unlocked. Now, to level up each of the warriors, you have to play the warriors individually. Also, after finishing a level you've previously completed, you will be able to talk with some of the characters in the game, developing your relationship with them further, so it's more like experiencing the story and less like grinding. Now, the real-time elements are not done quite as well as the RPG elements. It's slightly sluggish and not explained quite as well. However, after a few missions, you will get the hang of it, and it's definitely not as bad as it seems at first. But keep playing, you'll definitely get the hang of it, and it's well worth getting used to. You get mission objectives during each level that you have to complete, and once you've completed enough of these, you can fight the last general. Though you do not have to complete all of the mission objectives to finish the level. And each level should take you around 15 to 35 minutes to complete. You have a main attack button, which you'll be using for the majority of the game, and a heavy attack button, for which most characters is a ranged attack. If you like these types of games, you'll definitely like this one. The combat is visceral and entertaining. However, if you're not a fan of these type of games, the combat may get a bit repetitive or boring. You have the choice to buy new weapons, mounts like horses, or new equipment that gives you a health or different ability boosts. You can also fuse weapons that you won in the field of battle, or that you've bought with your weapon of choice to level up its abilities. The storyline may not be the best in the world, but it's definitely interesting, especially if you're into films like I am, such as Seven Samurai, Yojimbo, or any Akira Kurosawa samurai film. The game definitely has some really interesting characters. It's entertaining, and I did want to play through to the end to see what happens to your character, as you have many choices throughout the game that will depend on who will be your ally, your enemy, so there's definitely a choice to go back and replay the game to see a different outcome. Also, this is not a short game. It'll take a bare minimum, I'm talking a bare minimum here, of at least 10 hours. However, that would be rather hard because you would have to forego some of the options in the game, not level your characters as much, so later battles in the game could be rather frustrating. Not to mention, controlling your army and leading them to victory while leveling them up is fun and requires less strategy than a game like Ghost Recon Shadow Wars. It's not that type of real-time strategy game. It's a very, very light system. It's almost like playing a tactical shooter, just telling them to go to cover or telling them to attack this or that. It's much more similar to that than playing a game like StarCraft, for example. Now, I would also say you could get between 20 to 30 hours out of the main game with minimum grinding. The game also looks great. The textures for the levels look fantastic, and the general level design is extremely well done. Though the textures on the standard enemies is a bit rough, but you'll hack them to death long before you get a chance to see their faces. There are plenty of nice effects from the magic attacks or enemies flying through the air or any of the different particle effects you'll see through the game, especially with the many special attacks. The 3D is not as poppy as some other games, but it gives a huge amount of depth to the battlefield, looks great, and the effect had the least amount of strain on my eyes. Overall, Samurai Warriors Chronicles is a very fun hack-and-slash game with great environments and a very interesting story, especially if you like the subject matter. It won't change your mind on the genre, nor the franchise, but if you're into these type of games, or button mashers, or anything samurai or Japanese in general, it's definitely worth playing. It's got plenty of gameplay, well-done levels, and great graphics. The gameplay can get slightly repetitive, but it always looks great, and you'll unlock new special moves and combos frequently. Also, when not playing the main character and using different characters that you're given, you'll be using different weapons, and you'll be using different combos, so it's not like playing the same character in every mission. Last but not least, you can also use horses in the levels to travel faster, and you can attack from horseback. However, the horse riding mechanics are a bit unrefined, but it's still pretty fun. Warriors shows a lot of potential on the 3DS. There are tons of enemies on screen, it's very fast paced, with minimal lag and absolutely no screen tearing. While the horseback can be clumsy, the camera angles are great. The game is extremely long and also very well made. With an extremely small amount of flaws, this is still one hell of a game. Especially if you're interested in the story elements, it's definitely worth getting. And I think even more so since the 3DS had a lack of great launch games. Overall, I give Samurai Warriors Chronicles a 4 out of 5. It's a great game, especially if you're a fan of the franchise or the genre in general. Thanks for watching The Real Life Gamer. Stay tuned for more trusted reviews.